Imagine watching someone solve a Rubik's Cube in under 10 seconds while casually chatting about their weekend. Picture this. Someone is twisting a colorful cube super fast, not even really looking at it, while telling a story about their last few days. You stand there frozen as they twist and turn the cube without even looking at it properly. Then, with a final flick, all the colors line up perfectly. You just stand there, shocked. They keep spinning the cube so quickly without even checking, and then, boom, every side is complete. They toss the cube onto the table, grin, and shrug. What? It's easy, they say. They drop the cube onto the table, smirking, and say, no big deal. That's what it means to do something with ease, when something that seems impossible to others feels effortless to you. That's what happens when you're great at something. Other people struggle with it, but for you, it's simple. You might think, how can they be so good at this? But for them, it's just another skill they've mastered. You might ask yourself, how do they make it look so easy? But for them, it's just a normal thing they've practiced a lot. Now, let's switch scenes. You're on a plane, about to take off. You settle into your seat, flipping through the in-flight magazine when the captain's voice comes on. Let's go somewhere else now. You're on an airplane, getting ready to fly. You're checking out a magazine when suddenly you hear the pilot. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Hello everyone, we've run into a little issue with the aircraft. Passengers shift in their seats. A few glance around, some muttering. You turn to the flight attendant, expecting a reassuring smile, but her expression is tight. People start moving in their seats, looking around. Some whisper. You look at the flight attendant, hoping for a calm smile, but she looks tense instead. She nods slightly, but something in her eyes makes your stomach drop. That feeling creeping up your spine? That's being uneasy. She gives a tiny nod, but there's something in her eyes that makes you feel cold inside. That strange sense that something's wrong? That's nervousness. Your hands grip the armrests. The hum of the engine suddenly seems louder. Your mind starts racing. What kind of difficulties? Is this serious? Should I be worried? You grab the armrest tightly. The engine noise feels different now. Your brain won't stop. What's the problem? Is this dangerous? What should I do? At that moment, you wish you could be like the Rubik's Cube guy. Calm, collected, handling things with ease, but this is different. Right now, you wish you were like that cube guy, chilled out, in control, totally relaxed. But in this situation, that's not so easy. Ever wondered where these words come from? The word ease has been around for centuries. It comes from Old French aise, meaning comfort or pleasure. Have you ever thought about where these words started? Ease is really old. It comes from an old French word that meant feeling good or relaxed. Back then, it mostly meant physical relaxation, like sinking into a soft chair after a long day. Over time, it came to mean effortlessness too. A long time ago, it was mostly about resting, like sitting back after a tiring day. Later, people started using it to describe when something isn't difficult. Someone in the past might have said, he rides his horse with ease, meaning he looks natural, like he was born to do it. A long time ago, people might say, he's so smooth on that horse, meaning he rides like he's been doing it forever. But uneasy? That's a whole different mood. It's the opposite of ease, when something feels off, even if you can't quite say why. But feeling uneasy? That's a totally different vibe. It's when something seems wrong, even if you don't know exactly what it is. Imagine a medieval knight sitting by the fire, shifting in his seat, because something doesn't feel right. Maybe it's the eerie silence in the woods. Picture a knight in the old days, sitting by the fire, shifting uneasily, hand resting on his sword. Maybe it's because the forest around him is too quiet. Maybe it's the way his horse is restless. That's uneasiness, that nagging sense that something's wrong. Maybe his horse won't stay still. That's what it means to feel on edge, like danger is close. See how these words are connected? When you do something with ease, it feels natural. Do you notice how these two words relate? When you're really good at something, it just happens, like second nature. Like breathing, like walking, like that Rubik's Cube guy solving it effortlessly, barely even looking. It's like taking a breath, like moving without effort, like that cube guy turning it so fast without stopping to check. But when you're uneasy, it's the opposite. Your body tenses, your mind races. But when you feel uneasy, everything changes. You stiffen up. Your thoughts won't stop. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, feeling the wind push at your back, wondering if your next step is safe. It's like standing on the edge of a drop, feeling the wind and not knowing if moving forward is the right choice. Where have you felt this contrast in your own life? Maybe you're a musician who plays your favorite song with ease, but gets uneasy before performing in front of a crowd. Have you ever felt both of these? Maybe you love playing music alone, but when you have to play for people, your hands start shaking. Maybe you skate through math problems with ease, but feel uneasy when the teacher calls on you unexpectedly. Maybe math feels super simple to you, but when the teacher suddenly asks you to answer, your heart starts racing. People might say, she moves with ease on the dance floor like she was born for it. Some might say, she dances so naturally like she didn't even have to learn. I felt uneasy walking through that dark alley alone. You could tell he was nervous, shifting in his seat, looking uneasy. Walking through that empty street by myself gave me chills. It was obvious he wasn't comfortable. He kept moving and glancing around. So, next time you see someone handling something like it's second nature, think about that balance. The world swings between ease and unease, between confidence and doubt. So next time you watch someone do something like it's no big deal, remember? Life moves between feeling sure and feeling uncertain. But the good news? What makes you uneasy today might one day be something you do with ease. And here's the best part. Something that makes you nervous now might turn into something you barely think about in the future. Imagine you're sitting at a poker table, the stakes high, the tension even higher. The only sound is the shuffle of chips and the occasional deep breath. Picture this. You're at a poker table and the game is serious. Everyone is focused. It's so quiet you can hear the chips clicking and people breathing in the tense air. You look across at your opponent. Calm, steady, unreadable. He picks up his cards like he's done this 1,000 times, moving with ease like the pressure doesn't exist for him. You check out the guy across from you. He's cool, doesn't show any emotions. He picks up his cards like it's nothing, like he's played 1,000,000 times before. It's like stress just doesn't reach him. You glance at your own hand, your fingers feel stiff, your heart pounds. How does he do it? Maybe it's experience, maybe confidence. Or maybe for him, this is just another game. You look down at your cards, your hands are a bit shaky, your heart is racing. How can he be so relaxed? Maybe he's been doing this for years. Maybe he just trusts himself completely. Or maybe for him, it's as normal as breathing. You could say, he plays with ease like he was born for this. Or if you're the nervous one, you might think, I wish I could handle this with ease like he does. You might think, wow, he plays like it's second nature to him. Or if you're feeling shaky, you could wish, I want to stay as cool as him in moments like this. Where have you seen someone move with ease? A dancer making every step look effortless? A chef slicing vegetables without even looking? Have you ever watched someone do something so smoothly it looks easy? Like a dancer gliding across the floor or a chef chopping vegetables at lightning speed without missing a beat? It's when skill and confidence come together, when something hard looks simple. That's what happens when someone knows exactly what they're doing and believes in themselves. It makes even the toughest things seem effortless. You're running full speed, dodging people, barely avoiding a faceplant on the sidewalk. The bus is right there. You push forward, stretching your arm, almost there. You're dashing forward, weaving through the crowd, barely keeping your balance. The bus is just ahead. You reach out hoping to make it in time. And then, slam. The doors shut in your face. The driver glances at you, shrugs, and drives off. But then, bam. The doors close right in front of you. The driver gives you a quick look, shrugs like it's not his problem, and pulls away. You stand there, panting, frustration bubbling up. But then you take a deep breath and tell yourself, just take it easy. It's not the end of the world. You stop, breathing heavily, feeling annoyed. But then you sigh and think, no need to stress. I'll be fine. You could mutter, I should have left earlier. Or tell yourself, all right, no big deal. Take it easy. Another bus is coming. Maybe you mumble, next time I'll leave sooner. Or you just brush it off and think, it's okay. Another bus will be here soon. That's what take it easy means. Letting go of stress, deciding not to blow up over small stuff. It's a reminder to stay cool when life throws a little bad luck your way. That's the whole idea of take it easy. Don't let little things ruin your mood. Just stay chill when life doesn't go as planned. It's the opposite of panic. If hurry is fire, take it easy is water. It's like the opposite of freaking out. If rushing is like a fire burning out of control, staying calm is like pouring water on it. You sit at a dinner table, hands in your lap, trying not to fidget. Her dad hasn't said much. He just watches, his face unreadable. The silence stretches. You're sitting at the table, keeping your hands still, trying not to move too much. Her dad is just staring, not saying a word. The quiet feels endless. Then, out of nowhere, her mom laughs and tells a funny story about how her husband once got lost in his own neighborhood. Suddenly, her mom chuckles and shares a silly story about how her husband once couldn't find his way home. The mood shifts. Her dad cracks a small smile. Laughter spreads. You feel your shoulders drop. Everything feels lighter. Her dad gives a tiny smile, people laugh, and you finally loosen up. That's what it means to put someone at ease. You might think, wow, that really helped. Or later your girlfriend might say, Mom totally put you at ease, didn't she? That's what it means to help someone relax. You might think, that made things so much better. Later your girlfriend might say, see? Mom made you feel way more comfortable, right? Sometimes it's a joke. Sometimes it's just a warm smile. Anything that makes tension melt away. It could be a funny story, a kind look, or just a friendly gesture. Anything that makes the situation feel easier. Think of it like a warm drink on a cold day. It doesn't change the weather, but it makes you feel better inside. It's like wrapping yourself in a soft blanket when it's freezing outside. The cold is still there, but you feel safe and warm. What about you? Have you ever done something with ease while others struggled? Have you ever had to take it easy when things went wrong? Have you ever done something that felt simple to you but was hard for others? Or had a moment where you had to stay calm even when things got messy? Has someone ever put you at ease when you felt nervous? Words aren't just sounds. They hold moments, feelings, stories. Has anyone ever helped you feel more comfortable when you were super nervous? Words aren't just noises. They carry emotions, memories, and meaning. And these words, they're about balance, between effort and relaxation, between control and letting go, between knowing when to push and when to breathe. They teach us how to balance things, when to work hard and when to step back, when to take charge and when to just go with the flow. Imagine struggling with a new phone, tapping random buttons while muttering under your breath. You get a brand new phone, but instead of excitement, you feel lost. You keep pressing things at random, mumbling complaints to yourself. The settings make no sense, the icons are confusing, and you're one click away from throwing it out the window. Everything looks weird, the symbols don't help at all, and you're this close to giving up and just tossing it aside. Your friend watches for a moment, then swipes a few times and hands it back, perfectly set up. Your friend stands there watching your struggle, then casually takes the phone, taps around, and hands it back. Good as new. It's all about the ease of use. they say. You glare. Or maybe it's just about you being a tech wizard. It's made to be simple, they explain. You squint at them. Or maybe you're just some kind of tech genius. Some things are designed to be simple, smooth, and effortless. Others, not so much. Ease of use means something just works. Some things are built to be super easy. Others make your head hurt. If something has ease of use, you don't struggle. It does what it should. No confusion, no frustration, like opening a door instead of solving a puzzle. No wasting time, no stress, just like turning a handle instead of cracking a secret code. Ever felt that? Maybe when using an app that just makes sense, or driving a car that handles like a dream. Have you had that moment? When an app is so clear you don't even think, or when a car feels so smooth it almost drives itself. You might say, I love this phone because of its ease of use. This microwave has zero ease of use. Why does it need 20 buttons? People say things like, this phone is so simple, I got it right away. This microwave is a nightmare. Who needs that many switches? You find yourself at a wedding where everything is chaos. Bridesmaids are running late, the groom lost his tie, and someone's grandma is having a meltdown about the cake. You're at a wedding and it's pure madness. Bridesmaids rushing, the groom panicking over his missing tie, and an older woman making a scene about dessert. The wedding planner looks like he's about to pass out. And yet, in the middle of all this, there's one guy sipping champagne, totally relaxed. The person running the wedding looks like he might collapse. Meanwhile, one guy leans back, drink in hand, not a care in the world. You really don't seem worried at all, you say. He grins, leans back, and shrugs. I'm pretty easygoing. Whatever happens, happens. You don't look stressed at all, you say, surprised. He just smirks, leans into his chair, and says, I don't overthink things. What will be, will be. You start to wonder, should you be more like him? Being easygoing means not freaking out over things you can't control. It makes you think, should I relax more? Being easygoing is about not wasting energy on stuff you can't fix. It's rolling with the punches, letting life happen. Some people are born this way. Others have to learn. It's about going with the flow, not letting little things ruin your day. Some people do it naturally, others figure it out later. Know someone like that? The kind of person who stays chill even when everything's falling apart. Do you have a friend like this? Someone who keeps their cool no matter how bad things get? You might hear, she's so easygoing, nothing ever gets to her. I wish I were more easygoing, but I stress over everything. People say, she never lets anything bother her. I want to be more relaxed, but I worry about every little thing. It's 3 a.m. and you hear a loud crash downstairs. Your heart pounds, your mind races, burglar. You grab your phone, ready to call for help. It's late at night and suddenly, bam! A loud noise downstairs. Your heart starts racing. Is someone breaking in? You reach for your phone. You tiptoe to the door, barely breathing. Then your cat strolls in, looking suspicious. Rest easy, you mutter. It's just the dumb cat again. Moving quietly, you peek outside, trying not to make a sound. And there it is, your cat, walking in as if it caused a trouble. Relax, you sigh. Just the troublemaker once more. To rest easy means to stop worrying, to feel safe. It's locking your doors at night. Rest easy is when you finally stop stressing, like when you lock up for the night and know you're safe. It's knowing a problem is solved. It's that deep sigh of relief when the stress finally lifts. It's that moment when you know everything is fine, when you breathe out and feel like a weight is gone. Think about it. When was the last time you needed to rest easy? Maybe after getting good news. Maybe after fixing a mistake. When was your last moment of relief? Maybe when you got a message saying things were okay. Maybe when you solved a big problem. You might say, you can rest easy now. Everything's taken care of. I won't rest easy until I know for sure. You could say, don't worry anymore, it's all sorted. I won't relax until I have proof everything's fine. See the connection. Ease of use makes life simple. Easygoing people don't stress. Rest easy means letting go of fear. Notice the pattern? Some things are simple. Some people don't panic. And sometimes you just need to stop worrying. Different meanings, same idea. Life's better when things aren't complicated. Same lesson, different words. Life is just easier when it's not a mess. The shuttlecock sails through the air, spinning fast. Jack lunges forward, smacks it back. Tim barely reacts in time, swiping wildly and missing. The shuttlecock shoots through the air, twisting fast. Jack dashes forward and slams it. Tim flails, trying to hit it, but swings too late and the shot is gone. That was lucky, Jack grins, wiping his forehead. You almost played like Rosie Ruiz there. Tim squints. Who? Jack chuckles, wiping sweat off his forehead. Wow, that was close. You almost pulled a Rosie Ruiz. Tim narrows his eyes. Who's that supposed to be? Jack laughs. The Boston Marathon cheat, 1980. Lady jumps into the race near the end, sprints past everyone, wins first place. No sweat. Literally. She wasn't even sweating. Jack smirks. She scammed her way to victory in the 1980 Boston Marathon. She sneaked into the race near the end, ran past the real runners, and took first place. And guess what? She looked completely fresh, like she just took a casual walk. Tim shakes his head. She won with ease, huh? Must be nice. Tim lets out a low whistle. So she just strolled in and took the win? Must be a dream come true for a cheater. Yeah, but she didn't earn it. If you cross the finish line looking fresher than the spectators, maybe you didn't run the whole 26 miles. Sure, but she didn't deserve it. If you finish a marathon looking more relaxed than the people watching, something's definitely off. Tim tosses the shuttlecock back. Guess some people think ease means skipping the hard part. All right, your serve. Tim flicks the shuttlecock over. Some folks think easy means avoiding the effort. Okay, go ahead and bring it out. Jack smashes the shuttlecock hard. Tim scrambles, barely returning it. He stumbles back, gasping. Jack slams the shuttlecock down. Tim lunges, barely hitting it in time. He stumbles, struggling to catch his breath. Man, he pants. I feel like Baltimore in 1904, just burning out. Jack frowns. What does that even mean? Tim wheezes. Man, I feel like Baltimore back in 1904, completely wrecked. Jack blinks. What are you talking about? Tim leans on his racket. Huge fire, destroyed half the city. You know what made it worse? Firefighters from different cities rushed in, but get this. Their hoses didn't fit Baltimore's hydrants. They just stood there, watching the place burn. Tim leans forward on his racket. There was a massive fire, wiped out half the city. Firefighters from other towns rushed to help, but guess what? Their hoses didn't match Baltimore's water pipes. So they just stood around while everything went up in flames. Jack whistles. That's got to be the worst case of not my problem I've ever heard. Jack lets out a low whistle. That's next level and not my issue energy right there. Right. If they had just thought about ease of use, maybe the city wouldn't have turned into a giant bonfire. Exactly. If someone had actually planned ahead, maybe Baltimore wouldn't have turned into one big pile of ashes. Jack nods, bouncing the shuttlecock on his racket. Lesson learned. Always check if your gear actually works before you need it. Jack taps the shuttlecock against his racket. Moral of the story, never assume your stuff works until you've tested it. They switch sides, moving slower now. The game is dragging, just like Tim's energy. Jack stretches. Ever heard of the Great London Smog? They swap sides, both slowing down. The game is getting sluggish, and Tim looks drained. Jack stretches his arms. You ever hear about the London smog disaster? Tim waves him off. Let me guess. Another disaster? Tim groans, waving a hand. Oh, great. Another tragic story? Oh yeah, 1952. London filled with this thick, toxic smog. People were just walking around, coughing, barely able to see a few feet ahead. Yep, 1952. London was covered in this nasty, choking fog. People could barely see where they were going, and everyone was coughing like crazy. Tim stops, racket in hand. Sounds awful. Thousands died, and the worst part? The government just kinda ignored it for days. Tim pauses, racket resting at his side. That's terrible. Yeah, thousands of people died, and guess what? The government just sat there doing nothing for a long time. Tim shakes his head. No wonder people felt uneasy. Imagine just stepping outside realizing you can't breathe, and the officials are like, probably fine. Tim sighs. No surprise people were freaking out. Imagine walking outside gasping for air and the government just shrugs like it's normal. Jack smirks. Kinda like how you ignored my last shot and let it drop. Tim glares. I was absorbing history. Jack grins. Reminds me of how you just stood there and let my shot hit the ground. Tim narrows his eyes. I was busy learning, okay? They sit down on the bench, catching their breath. Jack leans back. So what's the takeaway here? They collapse onto the bench, both panting. Jack leans back. All right, so what's the big lesson from all this? Tim grins. If something seems too easy, check for cheating. If something's uneasy, don't ignore it. And if you're fighting a fire, maybe bring the right hose. Tim smirks. If something feels too simple, double check for shortcuts. If something seems risky, don't just hope it goes away. And if you're dealing with a fire, make sure your tools actually fit. Jack laughs. And always make sure your equipment works, especially in badminton. Tim nods. That too. Jack chuckles. And most importantly, test your gear before you need it, especially in badminton. Tim nods. Good rule to live by. You're in a heated argument with your boss. The air feels heavy, words are sharp, and frustration is building fast. You and your boss are really mad at each other. The room feels tense. Every word feels like a little knife, and you're getting more upset by the second. Just when you think this is going to end badly, he sighs, rubs his temples, and says, All right, let's ease off a bit before we say something we regret. It looks like things are about to go really wrong, but then your boss takes a deep breath, touches his forehead, and says, Let's calm down before we say something stupid. The energy in the room shifts. It's like taking a step back from the edge of a cliff. Your shoulders drop slightly. Maybe this doesn't have to turn into a disaster. Suddenly, everything feels different. It's like you almost fell off a cliff, but now you've stepped back. You feel your body relax just a little. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. Sometimes stepping back is the smartest move. You might want to yell, push harder, make your point louder. But when emotions run high, knowing when to ease off can save you. Walking away for a moment can be the best thing to do. You might want to scream or fight harder to prove you're right. But when everyone is angry, taking a break can stop things from getting worse. Where have you needed to do this? In a fight with a friend? A tough conversation with family? Have you ever needed to step back? Maybe in a fight with a friend? Or when discussing something difficult with your loved ones? Someone might say, let's ease off on him. He's already having a bad day. People might say, let's not be too hard on him. He's already feeling bad today. I think I need to ease off work this weekend. I'm burned out. You should ease off the gas. We don't need a speeding ticket. I should work less this weekend. I'm really tired. Slow down the car. We don't want to get fined. Have you ever walked into a party where you instantly felt like you didn't belong? Have you ever gone to a party and felt like you shouldn't be there? The music is too loud, the conversations are full of inside jokes, and the laughter sounds just a little too forced. You hover near the door feeling completely out of place. The music is blasting. People are laughing about things you don't understand, and it all feels fake. You stand near the door, unsure what to do. That tightness in your chest, that's what it means to be ill at ease. That feeling in your chest like something is wrong, that's what it means to feel uncomfortable and out of place. You shift from one foot to the other. Maybe leaving wouldn't be the worst idea. But then, out of nowhere, someone waves you over. You keep moving your feet, not sure if you should stay or go. Then, suddenly, someone calls you closer. A smile, a simple, "Hey, come sit with us." And suddenly the weight on your chest lifts. A friendly smile, someone saying, "Hey, come sit with us." And just like that, you feel much better. Being ill at ease is different from just being nervous. It's that feeling that something's off, that you're in the wrong place, or maybe even the wrong moment. Feeling uncomfortable is not the same as just feeling shy. It's when you feel like something isn't right, like you don't belong there, or something is weird. Ever felt that before? A job interview? A first date? Walking into a gym for the first time? Have you ever felt like that? Maybe at a job interview? Or on a first date? Or the first time you walked into a gym? You might think, I felt ill at ease in that meeting. Something was weird. You might say, that meeting made me feel uncomfortable. Something was strange. She looked ill at ease like she wanted to be anywhere else. I don't know why, but I feel ill at ease around him. She looked really uncomfortable, like she wanted to leave. I don't know why, but I feel weird when I'm near him. Suppose you're in military training, standing stiff as a board while your instructor barks orders. Imagine you're in the army, standing super straight while your instructor shouts commands at you. Your muscles ache, your back is straight, and your breath is tight in your chest. Then, at last, he says, "Stand at ease." Your body hurts, your back is straight, and it's hard to breathe. Finally, he says, "Relax a little." Instant relief. You shift your stance, roll your shoulders, breathe easier. But you don't fully relax. You feel better right away. You move your feet, stretch your shoulders, and take a deep breath. But you're still ready. This isn't freedom. This is just a small break before the next drill. You're not free. You just have a short rest before the next task. At ease doesn't mean careless or lazy. It means relaxed but still ready, like a soldier between commands. At ease doesn't mean doing nothing. It means you can relax, but you still have to be prepared, like a soldier waiting for the next order. Like a student who just finished a test but knows there's another one coming. Like a student after an exam, knowing another test is coming soon. Have you ever been in a moment like this, when you could pause but not completely let go? Have you ever had a moment like that, when you could take a break but you still had to stay focused? People might say, make yourself at ease, there's nothing to worry about. Relax and don't worry about it. She seemed at ease on stage like she belonged there. He stood at ease waiting for what would come next. She looked calm and comfortable on stage like it was her place. He stood there relaxed but still ready for what was about to happen. Notice the balance in these words? Ease off, pulling back, knowing when to slow down. See how these words connect? Ease off means stopping or slowing down when it's needed. Ill at ease. Feeling uncomfortable, like something is wrong. At ease, relaxed but still aware, still prepared. Ill at ease means feeling strange, like something is not right. At ease means feeling calm but still ready for action. We're always shifting between these states. Knowing when to use them, not just in language but in life, can make all the difference. We move between these feelings all the time. Understanding when to use them, not just in English but in real life, can really help you. Let's step into a luxury spa. Soft music plays, scented candles flicker, and the air smells like lavender and vanilla. Picture yourself walking into a high-end spa. The air is filled with soothing scents, soft candlelight dances on the walls, and gentle music hums in the background. The receptionist greets you with a warm smile and gestures toward a plush armchair. "Just be at ease," she says. "We'll take care of everything." A welcoming woman at the front desk flashes a kind smile and points to a cozy chair. "Just sit back and relax," she says. "We've got you covered." You sink into the chair, feeling your shoulders drop for the first time in weeks. The stress, the deadlines, the never-ending to-do lists, they all seem far away now. As you settle in, a deep sense of relief washes over you. For once, the pressure, the rushing, the constant mental noise, it all fades into the background. Ever had a moment like this? A moment where all the tension just melts away and you finally feel like you can breathe? Can you think of a time when everything felt light, when your worries disappeared and you could finally relax? Someone might say, I feel at ease when I'm home, wrapped in a blanket with a good book. He seemed nervous at first, but after a few jokes, he was totally at ease. People often say, I feel the most comfortable when I'm curled up at home with a great book. At first, he was a bit on edge, but after some laughter, he loosened up completely. The word comes from the idea of relaxation, of being free from worry. Long ago, soldiers stood stiffly in formation until their commander said, at ease. This idea is all about feeling free from stress. Back in the day, soldiers had to stand perfectly still until their leader gave them permission to rest. That meant they could relax, loosen up a little. Today, it's the same feeling, letting go of tension, knowing everything is under control. They could finally move and feel more comfortable. Today, it's the same thing. When you know things are handled, you can let yourself unwind. Now, picture this. It's your first day back at the gym after months of doing nothing but scrolling your phone and binge-watching shows. You step onto the treadmill thinking, this should be fine. Imagine stepping into a gym after months of doing nothing but lying on your couch, lost in endless social media and TV marathons. You hop on the treadmill feeling confident. 5 minutes later, your lungs are on fire, your legs feel like concrete, and you're questioning every life choice that led you here. Fast forward a few minutes. Your chest is burning, your legs feel like they weigh a ton, and you're wondering why you ever thought this was a good idea. Your friend who's been training all year jogs effortlessly beside you. He barely looks tired. He glances over and says, just ease back if you need to. Meanwhile, your friend who has been working out nonstop runs beside you like it's nothing. He looks over and casually says, no shame in slowing down a little. Yeah, easier said than done. You slow down a little, gasping for air. You think, why is this so hard for me but so easy for him? That sounds great in theory. You take the speed down a notch, struggling to breathe, and wonder why it feels impossible for you while he's barely sweating. Then it hits you. He started small, just like you. He built up his endurance over time. And then it clicks. He wasn't always this fit. He started at the bottom and kept pushing himself bit by bit. When have you needed to ease back? Maybe you pushed too hard at work. Maybe you took on too much at once and felt overwhelmed. Have you ever gone too hard and realized you needed to slow down? Maybe work drained you. Maybe you piled too many tasks on your plate at once. People might say, if it starts hurting, just ease back a little. She went too fast at the start of the race, then had to ease back to keep going. People often say, if something starts feeling too painful, it's okay to slow your pace. She sprinted at the beginning of the race and had to drop her speed to make it to the end. Sometimes slowing down doesn't mean quitting. It just means giving yourself room to get stronger. Taking a step back doesn't mean you're giving up. It's just making space for you to improve. Now imagine this. It's late at night and you're cramming for an important exam. Your desk is a mess, your coffee is cold, and your brain feels like it's about to explode. Picture yourself drowning in books and notes late at night. Your desk looks like a tornado hit it. Your coffee is untouched and cold, and your head is pounding from all the studying. Your friend sitting across from you looks way too calm for this situation. He stretches, yawns, and closes his book. You should ease up, he says. Frying your brain won't help. Across from you, your friend looks oddly relaxed. He stretches, lets out a big yawn, shuts his book, and says, you should take a break. Your brain won't absorb anything if you're this tired. You glare at him. How can he be this relaxed? But deep down, you know he's right. Stress won't make the answers stick. You give him a sharp look. How is he so chill? But deep down, you know he's making sense. Stressing yourself out won't help you remember anything. You take a deep breath, put your pen down, and let your mind rest for a moment. You exhale slowly, drop your pen, and allow yourself a moment to breathe. When have you needed to ease up? Maybe you've pushed yourself too hard, trying to be perfect. Maybe you've stressed over something that, in the end, wasn't worth it. Have you ever been too hard on yourself? Maybe you tried to be perfect at everything. Maybe you wasted too much energy worrying about things that didn't really matter. People might say, he's too strict with his kids. He needs to ease up a little. The coach told us to ease up in practice before the big game. You might hear someone say, he's way too tough on his kids. He should relax a little. Our coach told us not to push too hard at practice before the big match. See the pattern? At ease, ease back, ease up. They all have to do with letting go, relaxing, stepping back from pressure. Notice something? At ease, ease back, and ease up all mean giving yourself a break, relaxing, or pulling away from stress when needed. Whether it's your body, your mind, or your emotions, sometimes the best thing you can do is loosen your grip. So, where in your life could you use a little ease? Whether it's physical tension, mental stress, or emotional pressure, sometimes the smartest move is to stop holding on so tightly. Where do you think you could use a little more peace?